Do you want to learn 2 things in one video? This is it. This is the video. How to make a challah bread and also the Parker house rolls. Stay tuned because it's going to start now. Hey everyone, now after looking into the ingredients, we're going to make something very interesting. It's going to be a combination of challah bread, with Zaatar. We're going to make, I bought very nice Zaatar here, and it's going to be, as I said, combination of challah bread and Parker house rolls. The one that you put in the middle of the table, tear from, each person is tearing from, and you have individual buns or something like that. But today we're going to make a combination of both of them. We're going to make like a big challah in parts, and it's going to, when person going to tear it from, it's going to be still individual challah. These days with the COVID and everything, you want to be friendly but not too friendly. So we don't going to make the big loaf of challah bread. I already made it before, and if you want the video on how to make a challah bread, you can find it here or on the channel also. But today we'll make the challah with Zaatar, and it's going to be in a shape of house park rolls. So let's start, because we need to proof the dough. Before we're actually going to make the dough, we need to check that our yeast already alive. You can make it with sourdough, but I'm not making so much pastry and all of this stuff, so my sourdough is never last so long. So it's usually dying after a week or 2 because I'm not using it. So we're going to take our yeast. To the yeast, we're going to add a little bit white sugar, a little bit water, and a small teaspoon of flour. Now we're going to mix it. This is for actually checking that the yeast is actually alive. We're going to feed the yeast with the food, the sugar and the flour. It's going to puff, and after that we actually know that the yeast is alive and we can use it in the dough. Otherwise, sometimes you have the yeast and you're using it and the dough is not raising, and you're asking yourself why, because the yeast sometimes it's like expired or already dead or stuff happen. So we want actually to check it before we're actually putting it to the dough. So we're not going to throw the dough because the yeast is not alive, and if you're going to add yeast on dead yeast, the bread is going to be sour after that. It's not good. So we're going to make now on the stove small hack. I want to try something new with the roller buns. We want to make it a little bit more fluffy. So we're going to leave the yeast to do the thing, the 5 minutes. Here now on the cooking station, we're going to create something to make the buns a little bit more fluffy and soft in the texture. It's going to be very simple. Flour and water. Yeah, we're going to cook it a little bit, let it chill, and use it in the process of making the bun. So we're going to add 2 spoons of flour with some of the water. All the ingredients and the method of cooking are in the description below, so make sure to check them out when you have time. And we are doing it on low heat. I'm doing it on 4.5 out of 9. Yeah, electric stove power. We're going to mix it. The purpose of cooking a small portion of the flour and the dough is to create a small layer in the dough that's going to keep all the air and all the proofing process inside the bun. Instead of it's going out through the holes and through the flour, it's something that it's common in the Japanese cooking and also in pastry. And I want to try it with those buns because I'm really interested in how it's going to come out. Make sure to stick around it because it's going to be really fast. We're using a small amount here, 30 seconds. It's already going to start thickening. Keep stirring it until it's going to chill down a little bit. See? This is what's going to keep all the air from the yeast that's going to rise the dough, and after that it's going to be even more airy, fluffy, and even tastier, in my opinion. We're going to try it. We have already our yeast puffed, very nice, so we know the yeast is actually alive. Also, by doing the process of checking that the yeast is actually alive, out of perspective of saving the ingredients that if the yeast is not good, you're going to throw them. It's one. And the second one is reducing the time that the dough need to proof. Why? Because usually when you're making the dough and you're just putting the yeast inside the flour and everything, you need extra 20 minutes just to the yeast to activate. This way, the yeast is already activated. We saved already 20 minutes in making the dough, and you can proof it even longer or you can proof it twice. The more time you proof in the dough, I find it very nice in the texture. I'm proofing usually buns and bread sometimes. 2 times, 3 times. It depends on the type of bread and the texture in the end that I want. So let's start by putting all the flour inside. Salt. I'm going to take another fork, mix it, create a small hole in the middle, and add the yeast. You can see how nice the yeast are. 2 eggs. 1 egg we're going to keep for brushing the buns on top. The tazzone. Make sure that the tazzone is cold, because we're going to add. We have already the eggs inside, and if it's hot and the eggs inside, it's going to scramble them. Let's mix it a little bit, and in the moment when everything is already dry, I'm going to start adding the water. Don't add too much water. Better to add a little bit by a little bit instead of adding too much. And after that, you need to add more ingredients, and your recipe will go out of balance. Now we're going to add a little bit oil and start working with the hands. When you have already a rough shape of a dough, let's move to a table and start to knead the dough at least for 10 minutes to create the gluten and create a nice shape. Don't worry about the liquids. Again, it's supposed to be a little bit sticky. With the time, after 5 minutes, if it's still too much sticky, add a little bit more flour. But again, everything, we're trying to push it over the table. We're looking for something like the texture and everything, that if you're going to leave the dough, let it go down, you will see it's going actually down. And when you're going to try to lift it, it sticks a little bit. This is a good indication that the dough is done out of perspective and texture, and you will see also the nice dough. You can check it, see all the strings coming up. It's very nice. So again, it's going to be sticky a little bit. It's okay, it's nice. Just take the dough, bring it everything together, flip it over, and create a small bowl with a little bit of oil in it. Put it inside. Make sure the dough is covered with oil, and we're going to let it poof. Usually when I'm poofing the dough, I'm putting it by the window if I have a nice sun and it's warm, or put it into the oven, just the light on. But don't forget and tell everybody that you actually have something. Otherwise somebody's going to turn on the oven, and after that it's going to be a souffle. So the dough already proofed for 45 minutes, something like that, and it's beautiful. Take the dough out. We're going to make around 8 balls. Add a little bit oil and grease it. Cut balls of 75 grams. Using your hands, make a type of sausage. Take your zaatar and dip it a little bit inside. Squeeze it a little bit and type of tie it. Bring both edges to the back. Beautiful. Like this. Start from the middle. Like this. And tie it. Bring both edges on the other side. And that's it. Beautiful. Put it also. Make sure you leave a little bit space because everything is going to puff. Beautiful. Make sure to keep a little bit space in between them because again, they're going to double up in size, and after that it's going to be a beautiful big baked pastry with zaatar and everything. I'm going to enjoy it with a labane. So again, same thing now. We're going to cover it and let it poof in the oven just with the light on for another 40 to 45 minutes. As it comes from the oven, we need to brush it a little bit. Take a little bit very nice olive oil and brush it to give it the glaze, and also seal a little bit the steam that comes still from the bread, and after that the bread is going to be fluffy. Don't try to touch the pan because the pan is hot, very hot. And when the bread and the pan already cold, shake it. Hear the sound that everything is detached from underneath the bread. With a spoon, just flip it and onto the board. So this is how you make beautiful challah bread that you can now tear, and each person going to have an individual one. So if you like this video and you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe because more of these recipes are coming up every week. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Andre. This is ThinkOFood.